Are the Namasudra Matuas Hindus or not Hindus? The introduction to the 1999 The Kurnagar edition of the hagiography positions Harachand as the avatar who is different from Vishnu's earlier avatars in that Harachand took birth within the lowliest of communities. Paramananda Halder states that an understanding of the essence of the hagiography can scarcely be comprehended unless one knows the social and religious context within which Harachand emerged. Bengal, he writes, has always been a land of Kamadharma. The land has, since ancient times, been occupied by small Kamarashtras, whose inhabitants were devout, independent, democracy-loving and worshippers of equality, Dharmaparayan, Svathin, Ganatantrapriya, Samir Pujari. They were unwilling to accept the alien faiths of Brahmanical Hinduism and Buddhism. Bengal was thus recognized as a land that was anti-Brahmanism and anti-Buddhism. Situating the Matuas as standing distinct from Islam, Buddhism and Hinduism, Halder identifies them as the autochthonous sons and daughters of Bengal who professed the Kamadharma and who were not part of these alien religions that have, at different times, attempted to appropriate the indigenous faiths via their hegemonic power. The indigenous people of Bengal were suppressed and kept on the margins because most of them refused to join the nexus of the Brahmanical Hindus and Ashraf Muslims. The choice of the word Kauma is interesting because it is a word that is used interchangeably with the words tribe or race. Derived in all likelihood from the Arabic term Qaum and, therefore, more a part of the Hindi lexicon than the Bengali, the word Qaum appears to have entered the vocabulary of Halder via the intimate sharing of space with Muslims in the villages of Bakergunj and Faridpur. Generally seen as referring to the ancient lineage of a community, its racial antecedents, the word may be read as being in accordance with the many movements that were begun in the early 20th century among various Indian Dalit groups that claimed to be the Adivasis, original inhabitants, and the first tillers of the soil, for example, the Adi Andhra movement or the Adi Karnataka movement that accused the Aryans of being intruders and invaders on non-Aryan land. In the longish description that Paramananda Halder gives us of the Chandala community as a Kaumajati with its Kaumadharma, he follows Dibaprasad Chattopadhyay's thesis that the races inhabiting the region were recruited by coercion or temptation. This places the Chandalas, along with the Hadi, the Dam, the Bagdi and the other marginal castes who occupied the region, as having separate identities that were gradually assimilated by the dominant Aryans with their Hindu, Muslim and Buddhist religions. In many ways, this appears to be a trajectory approximately followed by the Matua sect too. The Matua Dharma, a dissenting faith against the established Brahmanical faith, nurtured the community's spirit of independence and dignity, enabling it to move up the economic ladder through its secular ethic of work. Its successful negotiation with the political parties and with the majoritarian faiths has been viewed by many as a weakening of the promised emancipatory potential of the Matua Dharma. Yet it needs to be recognized that intelligent interventions, arbitrations and tactful handling of the complex realities of a changing India have helped the Namasudra community to emerge as one of the political and social forces to be reckoned with in the 21st century. This diplomacy and astuteness can be charted through the life of the hagiography of Harachand, who it hails as both its spiritual and secular leader. The alternating opposition and allegiance to dominant Hinduism has enabled the Matuas to voice their denial of the Brahmanical Varna system and at the same time to draw upon the strengths of being part of the majoritarian Hindu community. Harachand's hagiography, through its many editions over the last century, gives us an insight into this complex play of adherence and resistance.